Michelle, Paul and Marianne, Carrie, Cliff, and of course the Rabbi and Hani, as well as Rabbi Levi and Rochi. Thank you. Okay.
So for the screen, for the screen.
At age 70, I get to get this.
Just go. Just go.
Dear family and friends, 70 years, that is not just a milestone. It's a full-length feature film with sequel, plot twists, and quite a few scenes. But tonight is not about movies, it's about gratitude. Gratitude for the friendship that shaped me, the traditions that grounded me, and the community that continues to inspire me. I came from a humble beginning. My father was a cabinet maker, very skilled, proud, and absolutely determined that I would have different opportunities than he had. So determined, in fact, that he wouldn't even let me near his tools. My mother was a cleaning lady her whole life. She had only a second-grade education, but she was tenured professor in the School of Life, wise, practical, and able to stretch a dollar farther than most economists. Being the eldest of 5 meant I learned responsibility early. I helped at home, and I learned the value of hard work. My mother had eyes on everywhere, literally. Some of her clients were teachers at my school, so I couldn't get away with anything. I was, let's say, spirited as a kid. Mischievous might be a better word, but my parents believed in me even when I gave them every reason to reconsider. I spent over 35 years as a software engineer, designing systems, solving problems, and learning the nuances of precision and logic. After retiring, I turned to woodworking. What began as a hobby quickly deepened into a passion. I traded in my keyboard for chisels and routers, and I haven't looked back, though I do occasionally miss the undo button. One of the most meaningful projects I have had the privilege to create was the Aron Kodesh for our Shul. It wasn't just a woodworking project. It was a spiritual one. Every joint, every curve, every detail was a dialogue between tradition and craft. When I stand before it on Shabbat, I don't just see the wood, I see memory, meaning, a whole lot of sanding. The process of inspiration, planning, and heartful connection is the same path we walked in learning, in creating, and in living, with purpose. Each chapter of my life has taught me something new, and I hope to keep learning in the decades to come. Yes, I said decades, very optimistic, I know. And now I want to thank the person who is beside me through every chapter, my wife. My partner of 47 years. On most days, she said she would marry me again. I count it as a blessing and a minor miracle. She has been my supporter, my sounding board, and the only person who can tell me when my daftel joints are crooked and get away with it. This evening, like so much of my life, would not happen without her. Not all my children are here tonight, but they are with me in spirit. People like fine wood have their character, grain that runs in unexpected direction, knots that tell stories, and places where patience reveal hidden strengths. I hope we continue to discover that strengths together, to go closer, and to honor both what binds us and what makes each of us unique. As I look ahead, I do so with gratitude for my health, for my friendship and family that surrounds me, and for the privilege of continuing this journey. I hope to keep creating with my hands and heart, and to keep learning with curiosity and humility. May the years ahead filled for all of us with meaningful work and joyful connection. Thank you all for being part of this evening and part of my story.
Go back home, bear with me for 3 minutes, okay? The woodworker. In the workshop, he becomes a different person. No longer my husband or an ordinary man, but a woodworker creating magic, transforming timber into beauty. Eyes darting across the piles of lumber, searching for the one to match his design. Pushing both sleeves above his elbow, he pulls out a deep reddish-brown large plank. Turning it over twice, he seems satisfied with the selection. A week later, the woodworker surveys his kingdom, enjoying the sunlight casting warm golden hues on the mahogany rocking chair, born out of a rough plank. He takes a deep breath, savoring the scent of wood and sawdust, ready for the next step of magic. Sending and finishing, he mumbles to nobody, twirling the right side of his mustache, lost in thoughts. Searching for a sandpaper in a pile varying in grit, he selects the coarsest one, removing his glasses for a close inspection, feeling it between forefinger and thumb. This will do, he assures himself, stroking his mustache slowly, deliberately. He sands along the grain using long, swift movements with his right, then immediately caressing the area with his left to ensure smoothness. He presses and moves the paper over and over the same spot while humming to himself till beads of sweat form on his forehead. Would you take a break for lunch? I dare to suggest, stepping into the workshop which smells masculine, a mixture of the woodworker and his lumber. I watch in awe, my cheeks coloring, knowing full well that he cannot hear me while in trance. The woodworker will not abandon the chair till his calloused hands caress and confirm its absolute smoothness, like a baby's bottom, till the chair declares completion with a whisper. He runs fingers along his perfectly curved mustache and replaces the coarse paper with a gentler one, repeating the process, this time with softer, circular motions. His back is damp, and the shirt sticks to him like a second skin. Come here, feel this, he proudly offers, pointing to the armrest of the chair, stroking it with love. Exquisite, I declare, smelling him on the wood, wondering yet again not only at the crafting of the stunning, smooth furniture, but at the transformation of an impulsive man outside into a patient, passionate, perceptive craftsman in the workshop.
But anyhow, Baruch Hashem, how are you? My name's Kerry Rosenberg, not the big Rosenberg, the other Rosenberg, and I'm here as the first speaker. They call me the fluffer or the starter. I want to get things warmed up for you before the game really starts. So hopefully before we start, I just want to say, I want to thank Hashem, of course, for allowing us to all participate in this joyous occasion, and it's very wonderful. And we also, I want to add, and I hope you all join me as we did before the meal, but after the meal, that we thank Suzanne for putting this together, for hosting a beautiful event with her tireless energy. There's a great feeling of love and joy that permeates this whole crowd. So thank you, Suzanne. It's a wonderful event. So with the gratitude from us all, we'll give you another big hand. Yeah. You deserve it. I don't know how you ended up. Next, we won't go there. So, you know, I didn't know if it was before the meal, after the meal. So we'll start with after the meal. And Suzanne, several weeks ago, says, you know, Kerry, can you give a talk? I said, sure, talk. And a few weeks ago, she said a few, can you say a few words? A few words, okay, what's a few words? Is it a Gary Trudeau a few words, or is it a Tolstoy a few words? I wasn't quite sure what a few words was. You know, but Jewish people, they sort of need to define this. But 2 weeks ago, she said, Kerry, don't forget, can you give a short toast? So now we go from a few words to a short toast. Then maybe, last 2 weekends ago, we're watching a movie, and she goes, don't forget, Carrie, can you give like a 2-minute roast? So we're going from few to short to 2 minutes specifically.
2 minutes roast.
We'll try. We'll try. But, so I sat at home last night, I don't know what to do. I got a few words, I got to say a toast, a roast. What do? You call your wife, right? Melinda, what do I do? And she sends her regards, her regrets. She's in Brooklyn, but she wishes you a very, very happy birthday. Melinda, what do I do? They want a toast, a roast. She goes, you're smart, you'll figure it out. Just make sure it's not the last supper.
Carrie, that's what she said? You're smart? Actually said that.
I take a little liberties, I wrote it. But she goes, just make sure it's not the last supper. So I'm thinking, toast, roast, last supper, what's going on? What's with the exceptions, We got these food. It all centers around food. And that's where I met Eitan, actually. You remember that? 25 years ago? No, you don't. Tomorrow you're 70. Tomorrow you won't even remember what you had for dinner. Thank God there's leftovers. You may remember. But anyhow. So, 25 years ago I met Eitan. It may have been before Y2K. I'm not quite sure. But it was at a temple down the 3 or 4 exits down the street.
You want to use this?
I don't know. Do I need the microphone?
Yes.
Why? Hey.
My wife said I'm smart. Just press the button.
Now you're in big trouble. A short 2-minute speech, forget about it.
Like I said.
Okay. So my first encounter was with Eitan 25 years ago or such in a Havurah group. And you all know what a Havurah group is. So it was at a synagogue, maybe 4 or 5 exits south of here. And again, another obsession. That Havurah group, what was it called, Eitan?
That was not me.
Okay, again, 70. But at the end of it, it was just half a dozen families that would get together on a monthly basis. And what do Jews get together once a month? They eat. So the name of our Havurah group was Until We Eat Again. Okay? Right, Miriam? Where is she? Here it's Miriam?
Miriam. Right there. Miriam left.
Okay. So I can talk about the synagogue now. But anyhow, it was a very nice place. We learned how to eat, we chat. Back then, Eitan was more British than Yiddish. He was so politically correct, don't make waves, make friends.
Eitan, politically correct?
Yes, oh yeah.
Before Trump.
He was he never talked about politics, always a vacation, let's see the pictures. He had to wait till he came to Shul by the shore, then he joined the parliament. Well, then he started, but that was Eitan. But I just want you to know that Eitan is Israeli. He is a Sabra. And he comes from Israel. And he's a full-blown Sabra. He's the no ice in the Coke Sabra. He's the, do I get a refill Sabra? No? Okay, I'll take water Sabra. Okay, this is, and please, perhaps the wine, you have something a little bit sweeter type of Sabra, right? So when he was in Israel, it's a tough neighborhood. He went through the trials and tribulations of Israel, rough neighborhood. But he heard a poem, he read a poem in Hebrew, written by Emma Lazarus, called The Colossus. Now when you read that poem, that's the poem that, Statue of Liberty, Colossus. But when, in Hebrew, it translates a little differently. It says, give me you're gifted. Give me your brightness. Give me your enterprising masses.
Closer to the mic. Yeah.
Okay, so the Lazarus poem in Hebrew, it translates to give your
Tech support.
Yes, higher. There you go. There you go. Oh, Cliff, you're wonderful. I'm taking you home.
Just hold it.
Okay. So the Colossus is a very famous poem, and I'm sure you all have heard it. But in Hebrew it translates. What?
How many people does it take?
How many? Yes. There we go.
You gotta be Jewish.
I'm not going to comment on anything. It's a great microphone. It's a wonderful night. So back to the poem. We like poems. So Miss Emma Lazarus, she said, give me your gifted. Give me your brightest. Give me your most enterprising masses yearning to breathe success and freedom. And Eitan read that poem. It brought tears to his eyes. And he was off. America. This is the place I want to go.
Not now, not now.
And he came. He excelled. He was brilliant. He was one of the smartest guys. He gets 100% on the math section of the SAT. The type of guy you really want not to come. But competition's competition. Eitan succeeded. He had to lead the pack. But he developed a name when he was here. And his name, at least affectionately, was the Sephardic Yankee, or Yankee. And that's it. I know, it's a Yiddish expression, you don't understand. But it's what we used to call the German immigrants when they came here. Not very, they had the new jackets. Well, Eitan never really had the new jacket, but he had the other thing. They were the German Jews. They had these traits about them. They were always punctual, always on time. Not a minute before, not a minute after, exactly on time. And that's was Eitan.
Yes.
He was reliable. He said it was going to happen, it happened. He's honest. He's meticulous attention to detail, a serious and devout approach to life and religious cultures. This is Eitan. And to summarize it in a thing, he brought what I've learned over the 25 years was his concern for the sick and infirm. If anyone was sick in the community, he would go see them, he would bring them, he would talk to other people, go see them, go help them. And what he's famous about, I met half of you, or more than half, on his famous Shabbat dinners where he would bring and bind our community together. And then he said 5 years ago, look, I need to honor my father somehow. So he set out and he says, I'm going to become a carpenter. I go, Eitan, you know what they did to the last Jewish carpenter? What are you asking for? So he went out and with his impeccable skills, his Yankee skills, he set out and says, I'm going to develop a wood shop. I'm going to learn how to work with wood. 6 months later, I'm okay. He's going to buy a little saw, maybe a sander. No. He's off to China, he's buying CNC equipment, he's going there to supervise the construction of the equipment, to learn the ins and outs, how to program. He comes back, Carrie, I need to get into the house, help me. You know how to drive a forklift? Come, please. Let's deliver it. Just be the truck driver, would you? No, we got it, you got it covered. So we delivered it. So he turns his garage into this amazing factory. Unbelievable CNC equipment. I don't know how he fits it in there, his organization, his meticulous eye for detail, his executive prowess. It was amazing. And from that, he's created an amazing Judaica woodworks, culminating in his final act was, I won't say the final act, but the biggest one that I've seen so far. He has tremendous boxes for restaurants. I don't know if you've seen them. Inlays, words, beautiful woodwork, beautiful joints, whatever they call them. These woodworkers have their own vernacular. But it culminated in honoring and built a beautiful Aroma Kodesh, and it's beautiful. Now there are 3 other speakers, so I don't want to take up too much time. Suzanne, Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Do we have 30 seconds?
That ship already sailed. That, you don't have to worry about that. That ship sailed.
In conclusion, there are a number of other speakers. I just want to say 70, I looked it up. I didn't know if the rabbi was here. I don't know if we go into it. I look at Perkei Avot, the Mishnah 21, 22, depending what you're reading. And what does 70 years mean? So it means it's completion of life. You've lived life, you're full of life, and you have accumulated a tremendous amount of wisdom.
But completion, I don't like that concept.
I know. It translates differently. You know, this is blame chat GDP. But the important part of it, the 70, is not only the accumulation of wisdom and knowledge, okay, through life experiences, but the sharing of the knowledge. And in that, you've gotten a complete successful story. So with that, thank you for 25 years of enduring friendship, Eitan.
Another 50.
And extremely excited about the next 49. Because we all want to say that Eitan was wonderful, but he died before his time. Anyhow, lift up your glasses. We'll make a toast. Fill it with wine, John. And we told Eitan a warm mazel tov on achieving 70 years in a heart-filled Yom Halecha Simcha. Happy birthday.
Shana and I told her we have to roast him. So what is roast? And here I am. And she said, please be gentle with him, you know, like, that's friends here. So just to give some background, my name is Benny. We've been here 8 years in South California. We moved here from the north. And what the funny thing is that I found out that in the neighborhood we have an Israeli couple, which in Rosemore, very unusual. Jews, but another Israeli couple, which is interesting. And it took a few months that we settled down. And then I called Eitan. So I say to my wife, you know, we don't know him. Let's not invite him over to us. And he probably said the same. So he said, you know what, let's go meet at Pete's. And we met, and we're friends from then, and we love you very much, personally.
That's as much as we know about dating. You go to a place where it's uncommitted.
That's right. We didn't know it would work out. It worked out great. We've been traveling together. We're very good friends. So I was asked to tell a short story about Eitan and the relationships. And I don't know if you all know, oh, by the way, we know him 8 years, but you're the people who have known him 25, 30 years, and we're very happy to be amongst his friends and Shoshana's friends too. And what happened is during the COVID, we decided to go bike riding. We said, you know what, we'll work out a bit, we're sitting at home all the time, and we have to move ourselves. So he goes out to the idea of bringing out his bike, cleans it up. I got my bike. And for about 4 or 5 months, we ride bike a few times a week. We go to Seal Beach over...
It was 8 months.
8 months. Yeah, my story ends at about 4 or 5. Yeah, we rode about 8 months. It was fun, and the weather was great in Seal Beach, and we drove down through the river.
San Gabriel
River, which was fine before the homeless were there and everything. And one day, November 2nd, I find out that he has a birthday. So what does a good friend do when a good friend has a birthday? He buys him a cake, right? No? So I bought a cupcake with a candle, and I put it in my bag, and we ride out to Seal Beach. We sit there on the beach, on the view of the beach, on the bench. We have our bench, the bench. And I bring out, we had coffee. We used to drink coffee, and then I bring out the cake, and I light the candle. And Eitan is like,
He's short of getting on his knees.
And he looks around and sees no one, and he sees people looking at him. So what do they think? It's going to go to him. And we light the candle, he blows out the candle. And that's the story that I have to tell. It's so romantic.
About 20 years ago, our family met the Barazani family at a Shul by the Shore Shabbat dinner.
Yes.
And so it's incredibly fitting that we're here tonight to celebrate Eitan, a remarkable Eitan, and of course his lovely wife, Suzanne. We've made such amazing memories and friendship with them over the last 20 years. And to honor them, Paul put together a video showing some great memories of Eitan through the years. We love you, Eitan. Happy birthday.
Anyways, Mazel Tov, Eitan.
Thank you.
On this wonderful, wonderful occasion, Reb Eliezer ben Azariah Reb Eliezer ben Azariah says, "Harei ani keven shivim shana." I'm like 70 years old. At that time, he was 18. They made him the head of the yeshiva, and he came up and he said, 18 years old, I'm going to be the head of the yeshiva. So he prayed hard, and the next day, he grew his beard gray. His beard turned completely gray, and the age that he thought that it would be most appropriate to say is 70. Because 70, like you mentioned before, Carrie thing mentioned from Pirkei Avos, that Ben Shivlim, what is 70? L'seva. Seva doesn't mean completion. Seva means satiated. Like you've come to the point where you're officially a boomer. Okay? You're a boomer, and there's nothing you could do about it. Your hair turns white. Now everybody knows that you're an Altakaker, you're an AK, they give you a seat here, Eitan, you want to sit? To sit down, of this.
And 6 months from now.
Shut. 1 second. Who's speaking? Even though when she asked me, she said, Rabbi, also, please be short. I don't even know what that means. So it's one thing saying it to Carrie, I understand. But to the Rabbi, okay, anyways, we'll make it short and sweet. Let me tell you, Eitan, as a rabbi, you have to have mazel. That's the number one most important ingredient in a shul. Because you never know who walks through the front door. You never know. Because in a Chabad house, we always joke that in 770, where the Rebbe used to be, there's a big magnet that attracts everybody. And when a new Chabad shul opens, you get a piece of that magnet, and you never know which Michiganer is going to walk through the door. You never know which nutcracker is going to walk through the door. Baruch Hashem, this nutcracker walked through a number of years ago, and it's been our honor. I can't believe that he said that once upon a time you were politically correct, because I know from all the discussions we have, you're never politically correct. Okay? I mean, the president wanted to be here tonight. He says, but you out-Trumped him. You out-Trumped Trump. I mean, that's amazing to be able to do. But yeah, like I said, you have to be lucky, and we were lucky in the show. And I know that I speak for Chani herself. That what a wonderful, wonderful addition you and Suzanne have been to this congregation. You know, all through the years of how kind you've been. I know it, for example, just one small thing what you did for our dear friend Bob Weiner, who would have been here tonight. Unfortunately, he's not here, but I know he's looking down from Shemayim.
He's here.
He gave you a belt?
Yeah.
He gave you a belt? You want to show it?
A week before his passing away.
We went to visit him, so he said, I have some belts. Pick a belt.
Take a belt. Take a belt. You know, but I know how much you extended yourself to him and how much you cared for him. Just shows what kind of an individual, and what kind of a person you are. And that extended itself to what is the most magnificent gift that the shul. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, every day we stare at it in the morning and at night we walk through it, we always see it. But that's just a reflection of the person that you are. You know, like everyone said, meticulous, caring, making sure that every detail, is done. But the Arn Kodesh is an Arn Kodesh. What's real behind that Arn Kodesh is in the Talmud. There's a disagreement. You need 10 people to make a minyan. What one rabbi asked another rabbi, what if you have 9 people and the Sefer Torah? So the answer is the Aron Gavrahu. He says, is the Aron a person? The Aron Kodesh is not a person. You can't include him. Only when the Aron Kodesh is used and appreciated with the love that you put into it, all of a sudden it changes from a piece of wood to a living article. And that's what this is, what you've given us to the show. And that we will never be able to really repay you in full for the thing, because in Mitzvah Shem, like it said here, it will be used like Bob was always worried about the Torah. That he knew the Torah is going to be used and the Aron Kodesh will be used. So I'm here just to say Mazel Tov to you. Welcome to the Boomers Club. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. When people stand up for you, don't worry about it. It's going to be good. When you forget things, it'll be good. When everything is going to be, from now on, it's only better. Like the Mishnah says, Seva means, they tuck him Seva. When they say Taka, when the guy is like 7 years old walks into the room, everybody's supposed to rise because a wise man. So in the name of the entire congregation and all the friends here, I just want to wish you and bless you that 70 should go on to 80. The Rebbe said at 70 people were writing to him. You know what? At 70 maybe you should slow down, Rebbe. You're hitting a 70. The Rebbe said at 70 I'm just beginning. This is when the fun starts at 70, and he pushed his chassidim from 70 to 80. This is when it all starts, Eitan. There should be a great beginning for you and for Susanna and for your family, for the extended family. Mazel tov to you. Thank you for including us all in this wonderful, wonderful event. And we shall always spend simchas together.
In the army.
No.
And I was already an officer, and I decided that my machine gun was not properly installed, so I went to somebody that was a welder, and I said, you weld here, and to make sure that it's, when I need it, the machine gun is going to work, because there was a solenoid. Anyway, so the technical team didn't like it, so they put me on a trial as an officer. So I get in front of the big officer, and he said to me, looked at my behavior record, and he said, is this a behavior record, or this is a timesheet for a car? So, but I was in the army. I ended up as a platoon commander in tanks. So that's what we have. A rule in the house: if it doesn't have fruit, it doesn't come in the house. So we have.
If it's not edible, it doesn't take space in our backyard.
Yeah. So we have like 30-something different varieties of fruit trees. So it's not a question, no? Okay. And then shooting was actually I started when Sivan and Yagil were at the age of 13. I did it when I was up to 18. And the age of 43 it was, I took them to the range. I said, I'll show you what I did as a kid. At the age of 43, at the age of 47, I managed to make the US national team. And then I did it for 17 years until the age of 60, where my eyes are not as good. And so actually the three kids did it. Sivan did it in college. Sharon did it for 2 years in high school. She won a world championship, and then she decided to quit while she's ahead. So shooting was a big part of my life. So the Middle East have G6PD deficiency. So this is actually the most the most in the world that actually people are affected, but it doesn't affect if you don't eat fava beans. If you eat, I don't know, you can get some reaction or whatever.
Red blood cells go down, so it's not deadly, but it's to the body.
Yeah. It's called G6PD. A 20-year-old thing that she said to me, you are not going to, she's like punishing us, and you are not going to, we needed to go from Santorini to Athens. You are not going. I said, what do you mean we are not going? Yes, we are going. No, you are not going. I decided. I said, if we are not going, nobody goes.
Pulled up her monitor, disconnected, and that's it. So she says, I'm going to call the police. And Eitan says, please do. So the police comes out, and Eitan explains, they barely speak English, and the guy doesn't know what to do, the policeman, because he understands that she's ridiculous, but he also understands that Eitan can't disconnect her monitor. So he's talking to her in Greek, blah, 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 blah. He comes back to us and, could you please, da, 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 da. And Eitan said, could you apologize? So Eitan says, okay, I'm sorry, but can I get on the flight?
And then she said, he's not really sorry. And Sharon is standing on the side, she's cracking like, she
She's standing on the side. She doesn't know us. Suzanne at this point started crying.
Because I wanted to get on the flight. And I see that the flight is, the time is coming up. And I said, just apologize for God's sake. She says, okay, I'm sorry, okay? I said, say it like you mean it.
And of course, the Rabbi and Hani, as well as Rabbi Levi and Rochi. Thank you.
For the screen.